Hi everyone, this is the Late Night Connection, a show where we are all about celebrating the power of creativity, diving into the art of building and exploring how action transforms into reality. It's a show for creatives and people who are doing amazing work in the creative industry. Hi, my name is Jay and I'll be your host today. We have an amazing show lined up for you today, so let's get to it. I'm joined here with Armani, Nurul and Miza from NakSeni and Inclucity. NakSeni is a social enterprise in Malaysia that celebrates the talent of artists with disabilities. NakSeni was founded by Armani Shahrin in 2020 during the pandemic times. Armani was inspired to start the company after seeing the challenges that her autistic sister Izzati faced in the art world. Prior to the pandemic, artists like Izzati showcased their art via exhibitions and pop ups. The pandemic affected them as much as it affected us, if not more. Hence, NakSeni was created to give them opportunities to still pursue their career as an artist online. Inclucity is a remarkable initiative by NakSeni. With a combined background spanning over a decade in arts, events, advocacy, and social enterprise, this dynamic trio is on a mission to champion accessibility and inclusivity throughout Malaysia. Inclusivity emerged as a solution to an existing gap in information accessibility through their work hosting diverse workshops, events with people with disability or persons with disability community. They identify that need for a reliable resource that highlights accessible of safe venues. This realization led to the creation of Inclusity, a crowdsourced map that not only aids PWD communities but also benefits seniors, families with young children, and individuals facing temporary or situational disabilities. All right, to start off, we'd like to get to know our guests a little bit more in depth, in a way. So we asked them to share a bit of a fun fact of themselves, something that is hidden in page 70 of Google search. Armani, take it away.
Hi, my name is Armani. For those who can't see me, I'm wearing a blue dress with red stripes on it and a few patterns. So my fun fact is, ironically, when I work with lots of artists, I am actually slightly colorblind. So I'm wearing blue today because I thought that our logo was blue. Is actually slightly purple. I think it's blue, but
Well, your team both thinks it's purple, so.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm still trying to fix that. It's all good.
So there's something you found out in the later years, I guess.
Yeah, it happened because when Izzati had my sister Izzati was painting, she has this artwork called Kakayu. So we have two mugs from that artwork and it's abstract colored. Uh, when I was selling them in the booth, someone tried to buy Kakayu 2, but I gave them Kakayu 1 and my mom stopped me. She's like, no, that's not the one. I'm like, it is. She's like, no, it's not. You're colorblind. And I looked at it. I'm like, it looks the same. And she's like, no, it's different. I'm like, okay.
So certain colors.
Certain colors, yeah. Slight, like blue greens and red browns. So
The irony.
that's why my sister paints, not me.
All right, thank you so much, Armani, for sharing that. Let's ask Nurul next. What's your fun fact?
Hi. So, my name is Nurul, and as Armani did, for those who can't see me, I am wearing a white shirt. I guess you can't see my blue jeans, but I also have short hair. Okay, so something that I don't think many people know is that when was this? In 2013, I have volunteered and brought 20 PWDs scuba diving. And yeah, it was a really fun experience and it managed to get into Malaysian Book of Records. Yeah, but it's not my record. I'm just assisting them. Yeah.
Yes, at least you were part of one part of the story, that journey. So that's nice to see. We can find something in the Malaysian Book of World Records?
I, yeah, I guess maybe you can find it. Like the most number of PWDs going scuba diving
Where did
That's
you all
cool.
go scuba diving?
in Tioman. So that's actually where I learned, where I got my license as well. So yeah, the whole process was really long. Like we had to go, we teach them swimming for a couple of months. It's more like water confidence than swimming because you're supposed to sink anyways. So yeah, that was a really fun time.
Miza, care to share your fun fact?
Hi, I'm Miza. For those who can't see me, I'm wearing a yellow top and I am a hijabi. Um, so fun fact about me, um, during the pandemic, I picked up a few things, hobbies, I would say, and I started crocheting, and one of the other things that I started doing was bookmarks.
Bookmarks?
And yeah, yep, you heard me.
Bookmarks.
Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. I love it.
They're bookmarks, but they're boobs.
Are they like cross stitch or is it like stickers?
It's like a type of like friendship bracelets
Oh,
that you turn into a bookmark. Yeah.
She's making one for me in pink because October is like
Yeah.
breast cancer awareness. Yeah.
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 wonderful. Very unique set of skills,
Mhm.
definitely. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, you mentioned also, the start, when you're introducing, you mentioned
Yeah.
about what you're wearing,
Yeah.
or what is, maybe you can explain a little bit
Yeah.
more about that, why you do that.
So I picked that up when I went to UK to the Unlimited Festival. So what I noticed there was in Unlimited Festival they celebrate all sorts of disabilities, and there's um, artwork, performances, poetry reading, exhibitions, everything. And each performance had sign language interpreters, and every time they introduce themselves, they also describe what's on stage for those who can't see them. So I've decided to like try and practice that with NakSeni whenever we do events and activities.
Yeah, 'cause so it's called inclusive introduction.
Right. So this comes with like even explaining not only what you wear and what's on the stage.
Yes.
So how would you
You
explain
should.
what's behind the scenes?
So for those who can't see, I have a few items behind me. So let's start with this side. On my left is Izzati's painting of a kampong house village. So there's paintings with a gold background and very cartoonish people, characters, and very colorful mosaic colored kampong houses.
Oh, that's Izzati's style.
That's Izzati style. So she has a very quirky look. And I have a postcard by one of our deaf artists, Sulaiha. So this is a picture of, well, it's actually painted. The original painting is bigger, so she turned it into a postcard. It's of some two geese, kelapa trees in the back,
It's a
and
kampong scene.
yeah, kampong scene, and a bicycle.
The bicycle
Yeah.
is like in frame.
Yes, a very nicely detailed bicycle. And one of our products is NakSeni's notebook. This artwork is actually by Maria. So it has a koi fish with lily pads on the pond. And we have pictures by postcards made by Ailey. Ailey is one of our artists from MRDS. She has spinal muscular atrophy. Yes. So SMA. So what she does is she also does graphic design. So this is something that she edited from her photography. So you will see three pictures. One is something that she took during her trip. I think this is in Penang
Mm.
because she has what do you
Lion
call this?
dance.
Lion dances, and this is the Colmar building. Yeah,
Okay.
and this is KLCC, of course. Yes. So these are her artworks. Excuse me.
So
while-
she then digitizes it.
Yeah, she digitalized it, and behind Nurul, we
Sorry.
have this is an artwork by Pastel Worker. Pastel Worker is the artist name of one of our autistic artists. Her real name is Soe. So she does characters. On this postcard is four Malaysian kids, and one of them is on top of a hill holding a Malaysian flag. It's very, very cute. And two books behind here as well. There's two books called, a series actually, called Ned Dickens. This is by one artist called Andy Miranti. He's also autistic.
Actually, it's a book, not a journal.
It's
No,
a
it's
book.
a comic.
It's a comic.
So these
Yes.
two books, you can see his drawings and you can see his writing as well inside. So he draws and writes his own stories.
If
I remember I
Yeah.
used to do
Yeah.
kids, like when I was
Yeah.
12, we used to draw and write your own stories. And
if you've read
shit.
the comic book called
yeah.
Captain Underpants,
Yes.
yes, so he was kind of inspired by that.
And
Yeah.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, that's
Yeah.
the style he had.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. And then last but not least, we have our Inclusity banner bunting in the back where it says an inclusive crowdsourced map for accessible and safe venues.
I'm going to try this one. And we have also three
Oh,
cups
yes.
in front of
But-
me.
Mhm.
One is a blue cup of a zebra sticking its tongue out. And its eyelashes is red and eyes are widely open.
Yeah. That's by Hazik. He likes
Yeah.
to paint animals.
Oh, nice. And a bird, a colorful bird on a twig. And
With a green
quite a few
background, yeah.
green backgrounds, yeah. Same artist.
And this is by Maria.
Oh, sorry.
So you can see different styles.
And also the name is
Yeah. So the other mug is exactly what Izzati painted.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the big painting.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, so that's the original painting,
Mhm.
and it's reprinted on different products.
So all of their products, these mugs have their signature as well. So
Nice.
Hazik, Maria, and Izzati.
Okay, so I'm learning something new. It's important for us to even this podcast to try and see how we can also be a bit more inclusive in that way. Even just now when we're speaking, I think some of our guests today was asking. I think Miza and Nurul were asking whether we're going to have subtitles. So it's something we want to actually include it as much as possible. And maybe I also will start off what I'm wearing, what I'm looking like.
Yeah.
today. I'm wearing a blue shirt that I've folded the sleeves. I'm wearing a blue pants. I have glasses, square, big, and I've got long hair, so my hair is down. That's what I'm wearing today. And I think the background was explained beautifully by our amazing guests. So thank you. So it's quite nice because we are also doing some part of our sessions or podcast. It's mainly a podcast, but we do have video capabilities. But it's always nice to make sure the listeners can also enjoy or be part of it in this way. So that's a great tip. Thank you for teaching me this and
You're
for
welcome.
teaching us this in that way. All right, so kicking things off with some lively questions. I guess the big burning question is the name NakSeni. How did you come up with that? What's the story? What's the mission and why? Do share.
So NakSeni comes from two different words. The word Nak is like a short version of anak, which means child, and also means Nak as in want or need. And Seni means art. So it could be children of art or a double meaning, the want or need of art. So I named it NakSeni because all of our artists, our OKU artists, they have a unique sense of imagination. So they have a childlike imagination, and that's wonderful for arts as well because you don't see things the way they do. So they're always in that state. That's why NakSeni.
Wow, very nice. I know that I like the play of words.
Yeah.
It's very like catchy and sticking to the Malaysian language. Like bahasa as that all point to be.
Interesting fact about the word NakSeni. When I went for conferences and introduced NakSeni and represented Malaysia, I had some friends from Philippines and Indonesia who loved the name as well because they also use the word anak.
Okay, yes, it's a common. Anak is kind of
Yeah.
common word for few other people also. That's nice. Awesome. Just building on that because as I read your bio just now, and there was a mention about your sister, Izzati, who played a big role in inspiring you to start NakSeni.
Yeah, she's our boss.
She's the big
Yeah.
boss. Okay, maybe you can share a little bit about
Okay.
her role, the things that kind of shaped your mission in NakSeni itself. So,
So, how Izzati started doing artwork was in school. She started doing with her schoolmates and her teachers, and then when we first, well, my parents saw her first do her artwork, we realized that okay, she's really quite talented, and we tried to expand on that. And um, we had a discussion, thinking when she grows up, there's no other like typical for us. We go to school, we go to primary school, go to secondary school, and then we go to college and go to work, right? What does she have here? Because not everyone who is in the disabled community has an opportunity, and usually places that build on that kind of talents are not in Malaysia. Like the ones who have can afford to send their children to maybe abroad. um so I decided to just maybe help out. And since I was working at the time with a social commerce platform, I picked up a few things, and then I decided to just try out with Izzati's artwork. And that's when Haziq and Maria's mom came together with our family. So it became a family thing. Yeah. And then slowly we started doing events, and it grew bigger and bigger.
I mean, a lot of social enterprise have that the sort of humble beginnings in a way. Either it's something you've seen, something that happened outside, and then it's about rallying up your own community. It's your friends, your family, even us at Mereka. When we were doing our crowdfunding, the first people who were donating to us were our parents, our friends. You want to get that support, in that way, and it's beautiful to see these things coming together in that passion sometimes, or even that desire out of like a need or a want or something that people want to strive towards. No better way to start off in family, even building family units, or even building a business together with a family. That's super unique. I mean, super cool to do together, I feel. Thank you for that. I wanted to find out a bit about the platform that you provide, for some of the artworks that you all have created, and you're selling these artworks in exhibitions, in events. How does this actually? Have you seen that this has helped the people that you're kind of impacting? What kind of things or skills are you seeing that come up from this?
Okay. When I first started NakSeni, it was just between Izzati, Haziq, and Maria. Um, we had products and we also had artworks. And when we have exhibitions, we'll have a small table to sell the products as well. And then people realize like, oh, okay, if I can't afford a big painting, maybe I can just have a notebook or a mug. And then slowly other parents came in and was like, okay, we can do this. But as we all know, not everyone can like dedicate their time to develop their children's career, especially children with disabilities. So there are certain challenges that we have to work with. And when I started NakSeni, I had more parents coming to me like, "Oh, here's my children's stuff. Please go and sell." And they're just like, "Okay, we're gonna just chill now." So I kind of feel that I'm giving them some rest time for them to spend more time together with their children, and then let NakSeni do the selling and marketing. And it kind of helps when they are also supportive of our events. Whenever we have pop-ups or we have um, bazaars or exhibitions, they will also join in. And we also have not just visual art, we also have partners who does performances.
Okay.
And we have partners who have like fully autistic musical band even, and they all support each other. We had a drum circle. So it's a whole community.
Yeah, because when even myself, when I was trying to understand, there was some programs that we were supporting in a way, and then I realized there's people with learning disability, and then there's people with physical disabilities. There's two different segments even, in your sense, where do y'all look into? Is there like a specifics that how you all need to, like, certain things that you all need to work with? How do you manage those kind of
So
things?
one of the things that kind of organically happened with NakSeni, I didn't plan for it to be like only autistic artists or only, physical disabilities or because we worked in a community that is so diverse. everyone kind of just came together and started learning about each other. So we have maybe Zulaiha, who is from the deaf community, and Izzati, and they kind of find a way to just communicate with each other without, and so they understand that each other have different abilities, and in a way, let me talk about Izzati. Izzati is her EQ is very high. So when she sees someone and she knows that she's an artist, she knows that okay, NakSeni is kind of like my company, and I welcome you. And whenever people from a different community, disabled community, she'll come and like, come, I bring you, I will show you. So she becomes like the host.
Very good for HR maybe then.
Yeah, and
For the
she's very
orientation, like to tell people what is going on and then set you off.
So a lot of people, when I tell them Izzati is an autistic artist, they think like, oh, okay, kesian, she's because to them they're not used to seeing people on the spectrum, so they don't know there's so many levels. So they think that, oh, when it's autism, you cannot talk to them, you cannot. But when they see her online, they're so surprised like, oh, Izzati added me on Facebook, Izzati added me on Instagram, and then she commented, and she's very social because we don't stop her from talking to people. Of course, like every child, we have to monitor her, but yeah, you're right. She's number one PR is Izzati because I'm bad at PR, and she can go online and she'll she'll be like she'll comment, and one of the uncles or aunties will say, oh, that's a nice painting, and she's like, oh, beli lah.
Wow.
And
Direct
we're like,
marketing.
oh, because she's innocently, because she
Right.
she's autistic, so she goes like, oh, buy my artwork, and then they like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, give me your mom's number. So it works.
Okay, so I mean, like, I can see just hearing, there's a lot of like new things that even for yourselves to be equipped and to, to learn and understand. That must have taken like a lot of humbling experiences and places where you go
yeah.
where you don't know how to charter these kind of territories. So, what's your tip or advice in that?
Um, yeah, you're right. It's very humbling for me, especially whenever we share things in NakSeni. I'm still not used to getting people come because I did have one follower on Instagram who came from the mental health group, and she was like, "Oh, I've never met anyone with autism. Can I join your art jam together?" And then she was just there together, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. This is actually opening a lot of doors for a lot of people, and I'm still not used to it." So I learn about different disabilities, and I learn about different ways how we can accommodate to each other, and we try to have a calm space or calm room every time we have events. So it's not just for the autistic artists, it's also for anyone who are highly sensitive people, or even me, like I just want time out, introverts, goodbye.
I was surprised, like the other day we did an event, diversity and inclusivity. So we had, we had an interview session. We had like HRD Corp, we had RHB Bank, a few people interviewing people in the spectrum. And when they came, actually, they actually said like, actually your space is good because it's not too bright certain areas, and we were like, oh really, wow, that's I mean, we never have done that side of things. Maybe I'm jumping the gun into talking about inclusivity, but I'm going to hold on there because I want to ask you a little bit about your physical outlet. You have one in Telecom Museum. I've seen a lot of the events, marketing. I think I'm one of the target audience, so I get marketed all this media. I think Miza, you're the marketing champion, right, at Inclusivity and NakSeni?
I help manage the social media for NakSeni and
So
Inclucity.
very good, well done. I get it all every other week,
Thank you,
every other
thank you.
month or so, whenever there's an event. So that's great. Could you share a bit about what's your partnership, or how's it like? Has this been able to attract tourists or even buyers and people who want to know more about this? How's that been like?
Definitely, yeah. Being at Museum Telecom, just for the record, we're no longer there this year. But last year, we were doing a lot of events with Museum Telecom. They're very, very supportive, and we're very grateful for them. They actually accommodated our community by adding ramps. But one of the challenges we had was also trying to find spaces within. It's a heritage building, so we had to also be delicate with that. We can't exactly
you
like
can't do
just
much
yeah.
construction.
So they did want to build a lift for us to go up and down with our friends. But at the moment, they're still going through some paperwork with the Jabatan Warisan, and we really appreciate their help in connecting us with partners as well. Being at Museum Telecom really highlighted us to local and international visitors as well, because people like to hold and touch the products, because when it's online you can't really gauge, and they're very surprised at saying how like the quality is, and how you know talented these artists are. So from there we also added more artists to NakSeni through all our activities, and I think it helped to bring more awareness to what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so having a kind of space like that, because then people can, continuously come back and stuff. So what are your plans now? Are you all looking for a space? Are you all planning to pop up all over?
Yes, at the moment we have a few plans to do pop-ups in a few venues.
Yeah.
We're still looking for a suitable place.
Which is accessible.
Yeah, so that's kind of how Inclusity started, because we still haven't found a suitable place for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's quite surprising. Maybe Juru can jump in also. Like, it for us to find places that are accessible. How, let's look at KL first, then we'll go to the other states. But how bad is it in KL?
I'll let Miza be the
Okay.
give her answer on that.
So for those who can't see, I'm a wheelchair user. I go to KL quite often, and I try to do it independently as much as I can. But it's almost impossible, even though it's in the city. The pathways that are in KL, the streets are not accessible, or they're, even if they are, they're not maintained well. So
And misused.
and they are misused a lot. So we have, we might have a ramp, but it's like filled with like bikes, parking there. Or we would have like a ramp, but then because they don't want the bikes to go use that ramp, so they put a pole in the center.
Right,
So then I can't go. So that ramp is like
Useless.
on display. Yeah, it's just there.
And if there are ramps, sometimes it's so steep. Yeah. So that is actually very risky for them.
Yeah, so one of the things we did early this year as well was the three of us, we went to KL, and like we just like got on the train, and then from the train we like walked around, like went like Petaling Street and went to Pasar Seni and stuff like that.
Wanted to
And
go cafe hopping. That didn't happen.
Yeah, our attempt was cafe hopping, but cafes in KL are not accessible. Most of them have steps, and even if they are accessible in the space itself, getting there is not accessible. So either way, you're stuck.
How helpful are Malaysians or Asians or our people here?
Unfortunately, based on my experience and the youth from my community, it's pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, what they usually do is they just kind of look and like move about their day. Yeah, they don't
I
really
don't know
do
why
much.
you guys are scared to help.
They are very scared.
Actually, it's more of the stigma. They don't know how to help. And that's why they like, okay, you know what? If I
They feel
don't,
it's
if
wrong.
I pretend not to
Yeah.
see it, then probably, I'll just go on with my day.
Yeah.
So
that kind of
if
thing.
anybody wants to, if you see someone who is a wheelchair user and they're struggling, go and ask them if they need help.
Yes.
Like, don't immediately push them, but ask them first. If they say yes, please help me, then you push them. Because
Which is, I'm gonna jump the gun, and
Please.
which is why it's gonna be part of our resource sharing in our soon-to-be platform, Inclusity.
Nice. Thank you. Don't worry. So anything we can free for all, chat. Since we have a few guests and lots of expert ideas and maybe things that y'all can share to us. Yeah, I mean, picking up what you mentioned, like I feel like a lot of us are not confident already being Asian, everything. Most times people are yes, 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 and then they go behind, I don't know, and then like, what did they say actually? And then like they don't know what to do. But yeah, I think what you pointed out was interesting. Is like, don't just simply go and try and help. Talk to the person. If the person might not be able to speak, then they might sign language or might tell you like, give you baby steps to what to do. Don't just go and grab a person and just let me take you where
Yeah,
you need
there
to
are like
go.
two kinds of people,
Yeah.
really. There's the ones that kind of look and then do nothing about it, but there's also the ones that are so eager to help that before even like making conversation with me, you're just grabbing my wheelchair. And for us in the community, especially, this is like our extension of our legs and hands, you know.
Exactly.
So if you were to just immediately touch me, I assume it, I take it as assault.
Correct.
It is quite
Okay?
scary.
It's very scary,
Yeah.
especially if you're like alone in KL.
Correct.
You know, it's not the best time to just go and just like push my wheelchair. Um, and there's really nothing wrong with just asking first, but I feel like everyone's so scared to ask because they don't want to offend us. But I feel like the only thing that they're really scared of is just how they react to us.
Right.
You know, and they don't want to give like the wrong impressions.
So I think this is a great discussion point because the other day we had Sarah Minkara, someone appointed by Biden from the US. She was here. She's a person with visual impairment, so she couldn't see. And when we had a roundtable discussion here, what she was mentioning was one big part where media can play a big role is to actually bring about this sort of awareness. We don't see superheroes, we don't see articles, stories, musicians on that spectrum, not enough. That people don't know what to do. They feel like, oh, they either don't know what to do or is it discriminated, and all that whole other things comes into play. So, a big focus, seeing that, the things that y'all are doing in the art spectrum, that's bringing that to light. How do you think, has this something like you've seen, like people come up to y'all and talk to you about, or have y'all been involved in any of that education side, maybe for the caregivers or for the public? Is that something y'all have talked about, or maybe did any marketing about on that or anything like that? Just wondering. Yeah.
So how I met Armani was through an art fest called We and I. And I met her back in 2017, 2018. And one of the things that I was brought into was in the art fest was to be a partner to do sharing sessions and discussions on PWD, specifically for the rare disease community. Um, a little bit of a background, I am one of the youth leads for the Malaysian Rare Disorder Society. So one of the things that I was brought in to do was to help organize these sharing sessions. And so we do have a lot of discussions about accessibility, about inclusivity. And during these sharing sessions, one of the things we do talk about, especially during like Q&A, people will always ask like, do I help you? Or like, how do I help you? How do I talk to you? And it's always like, I feel like they're always overthinking it, like to the point where they just like they just forgot that like we're human first.
Yeah.
You know, like they just see the, I get it gets very distracting sometimes and you see the disability first. But and I always simply like I answer simply by saying just say come up and just say hi. Like that's probably like the best place to start.
Yeah.
And they're always just like, oh yeah, I could have done that. And they're just like, oh. And then some like
Can I add on to that?
Yeah.
yeah.
So when I went to Singapore, and I noticed that most of the schools, most of the in the bus stations and everything, there's always a reminder of helping others, and they have a campaign,
Oh.
called what? I'm able or something like that.
Right.
Sorry, I can't remember the name, but it's constantly in your face.
Yeah.
And whenever
Yeah.
I see someone who is a wheelchair user trying to get on the bus, and everyone's like unfazed. They're like, oh, okay, this is normal to them. But when you come to Malaysia, it's like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I feel like, why can't we do that here? Because
Exactly.
Singapore
And then
and
people
Malaysia
will
is so,
understand it even. They would empathize even
Yeah.
some ways. Which is kind of like sad in a way, because I feel like this is something in schools, like we've got so many different modules, we teach so many subjects. You can easily incorporate how to identify or what you need to do, what are the steps, have role playing, so people actually have been in such a situation. Teachers and students can actually have like a debate about things and have healthy conversations around these kind of topics.
Exactly.
I'm going to go back into the whole accessibility side of things, in terms of inclusivity. Can you maybe explain a bit about, how do you access these kind of venues? There's this thing, space map functions. Want to find out a little bit about that, how businesses and people can actually be impacted by this.
Okay, so basically, what Inclusity aims to be is a crowdsourced map of accessible spaces and venues. Oh, sorry, accessible and safe spaces and venues, especially for the PWD community. Yes, I think earlier on you mentioned that it's for all communities, like families with kids, also the older generation, as well as those who are temporarily disabled or things like that. So yes, it can benefit all. And how it will benefit all is that we will have a rating system where we will have mappers go down to the ground and assess each location. So there will be a few different types of assessment. Well, okay, maybe just two. Yeah, we have a checklist. The first one is when we conduct a group excursion because we want them to go out and feel we want the PWD community to be exposed to the places they would never thought would
Right.
be accessible. So we will organize these excursions, and then they will do this checklist where they will check how accessible it is and how the venue can improve. So whatever we do not want to like name and shame or anything, but more like raising awareness on how we could be better. So we want to reward places that are already accessible, and we want to educate places which aren't so accessible to be more accessible. So that was the first part, is the excursion.
Right.
And then the second part is map assessments, where if let's say Miza wants to go to a new place she doesn't know, she can input in our platform one day and say, okay, I want this place to be mapped. And then we will eventually we want to provide this like a gig job opportunity to other PWDs to actually go down on the ground with a volunteer for safety reasons and map these places so that next time Miza wants to go to X location, she can see, oh, okay, they've already mapped it. Yeah.
Every location needs to be verified by a PWD.
Yes.
Okay. So that's a lot of work. I think if there is a way to, definitely it's needed work to be done.
Yeah.
So, this could be like what you say, get gig employability people to get jobs in that way, to go and map out. Even if you can get it funded by the government or by the corporates, that's also important. Please do, yes. And what you're saying is true. You don't want to demonize the place, because then nobody wants to do it, because they'll be like, yeah, we know we failed, and then they don't want to say anything. So I guess you have to be nice in that narrative.
Of course.
In that way, you want to share something,
Well,
please?
For businesses that think that they don't have to provide the accessible, like if you think you don't need to provide accessibility, you're missing out on a very niche market,
Exactly. I was reading some reports even earlier today. They were saying like in Australia, because it's an Australian report, they were saying like in Australia about 7 billion or 7 million. I can't remember. I know big jump difference, but that much of work for people with disability is being not looked into because there's no proper system set up. So I don't know how much is it in Malaysia, I don't know how much is it globally even. So
Do you want to guess how many people with disabilities we have in KL?
in KL,
Yeah, just guess.
1,000,
1,000?
thousands, 10,000,
Very cold.
100,000,
No, less.
50,000.
Okay, but here's the thing. That is what is registered
Yeah.
in JKM.
Yeah.
But we have learned that not even half of the Malaysians in Malaysia register for an OKU card.
Right.
So we don't actually have the right accurate number for that, because there is a stigma in getting registered as a
True.
disabled, because once we do get registered, the um the possibility of getting a job is lower.
Right. So what's the
Much,
number
much
again in
lower.
KL?
For physical
About
disabilities?
Physical?
Physical alone is about more than 16,000, and we have about 45,000 yeah, different, and we have different types of disabilities.
Yeah.
And
That's only in KL, yeah.
yeah,
And again, jobs and people who, want to do,
yep,
contribute and do good work. So, this kind of like, we need to look into like areas where it can be advocating for that. I know with now, the pandemic, after the pandemic, people are doing more gig work and, able to work from home. So traveling also is, eliminated in a way. So at least hopefully that helps the scene a bit in that way for everybody. Yeah, so ching ching ching, taking a pause. Everybody okay? Good? Yeah, okay. Hey, hey, yay.
She's like,
I wanted
why
to
are we
talk about
asking him
something.
questions?
Oh, right. So another big I wanted to bring up something because there was another group that we were mentoring before this, and one of the things they were mentioning, because we were talking about KL accessibility
Mm.
outside of the city
Oof.
is
yeah,
it's harder. I want to say
Way,
worse.
way.
This team that I was talking to was in Sabah even, so even more in the
yep.
outskirts. So maybe you can just walk us through a little bit or tell us a bit about um, how bad or dire is the situation like in outside of KL, and is it like, yeah, Jay, you can't go to government offices, you can't go to the bank, you can't go here, you can't this, I'm sorry, it's just no. And
Almost
then
pretty much.
what is that?
I mean, I think just by giving the example of KL, should be
Yeah.
accessible. I mean, they have said KL is accessible, but I can't go out to KL independently. I can never go there on my own. I would have to at least have one person with me, or at least one person who knows how to deal with situations if I were to get stuck somewhere. So you can just imagine if it's outside KL, it is even worse. And I think it's even worse not just because of the accessibility part. It's also we still have to deal with the mindset and the stereotypes that we face outside of KL as well. Because yeah, in KL, I think the conversation about things like this has started, and we do talk about it, and they are more aware. I mean, even if you are not aware, you have seen okay parkings and okay toilets, ramps. But if you were to go in places like Sabah, Sarawak, where even those who are not PWD, there are certain needs that over there that are not even met yet, so let alone a minority group like us, which is a bit ironic to say minority, because in globally there's like 1.3 billion PWDs. So for you to say that, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, you're
yeah,
not looking into this, it's not a right thing to say. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm trying to tinker in that area of because we are a makerspace. We build things. We have a wood and metal workshop and stuff. So I'm like, even I've seen like some products out there. Like there was this whole kitchen set. I think was some guy in Singapore, in Asia, somewhere where he built knives and cutlery sets that makes it easy to chop and put things away and stuff. So there's some cool solutions I've seen. I'm thinking like even ramps, right? It can be something you don't have to install permanently. You can always have it like manual, just have to drop something down and it's a ramp. And even I've seen, because when we were doing also our place, or we were doing it ourselves, auditing, which is definitely not the right 100% way for sure. So we were just looking at like, because somebody with wheelchair needs to go to the toilet. We have two toilets there, but it's been built like that with this tall of a step, which is about what, 2 feet, 3 feet step. So you want to build a ramp, impossible, because the doorway and the floor, so we couldn't do anything. We were like, so I was like, guys, we are a makerspace. We should be able to just build a ramp that just puts down and somebody could go up. But the spacing, the sizing, we need probably just something to, electronical device maybe. But at least we found that there is some toilets on our floor, and it's a floor above us, which there's an accessibility, a lift, because yes, as we run events, it's important to see all these kind of like things that you need. So I feel like that's a big shout out to all the creatives out there, tinkering about things, products, because it's almost like just having a handrail in the toilet, and things like this can be. I'm thinking just portability and stuff, because some people won't want to break their house down because budgets and
It
bureaucracy,
is
getting
expensive.
all the approvals fine, it's building, you don't own the building. Maybe you can come up with these kind of like
Temporary
temporary
solution.
solutions. Have you seen anybody doing these things that you all have
Yes,
known?
we have.
Yeah?
So actually, we are in the midst of collaborating with people who businesses, sorry, who offer temporary solutions such as those rails, sorry,
Hmm?
portable ramps which can be rolled up. So it's like
Nice,
metal,
right.
but it can be
Yeah.
rolled up. Yeah. So we are looking into partnering with them. Not say partnering, sorry, collaborating with them so that we can list them in the platform
Mhm.
so that it'll be easier for anyone who's looking for any sort of resources. So any businesses who are looking to offer your services to the PWD community and whatsoever, feel free to contact us and we would gladly list you guys. Yeah.
Yay! So there you go. You got something that if you need to check out, please get in touch with the team. They gave you quite a few things that they are doing that definitely you can get involved with. I'm going to build on two questions here into one question because I know you answered the resource list part already.
Yes.
All right. This is the tools, the articles that you've come
Yes.
up with to help empower the public and businesses, right? So could you then walk us through a little bit about the project from execution from start to finish? How does that look like?
Definitely. So now we are in the first phase, which is still, the learning and the building of the whole platform. Okay, so we are in the midst of getting funds to be able to build the platform. And then after that has been established, we are also going also in the midst of looking for collaborative partners, so to strengthen and to expand the database even more. And then in the second stage, we would be starting our mapping and excursions and assessments. And hopefully by the third stage, we will be able to begin that providing the gig jobs, as I mentioned earlier, and not only on our end, but also in third stage, we are hoping that when businesses are more aware of accessibility and how the ratings have worked, or if by any chance the ratings have affected them positively, we hope that these businesses and establishments can offer job opportunities to the community. So yeah, so not just jobs on our end, but also jobs on other ends as well. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, I'm definitely excited to see the amount of things that y'all are doing is amazing. Of course, like you mentioned, some things definitely require funds. What are you looking at? Do you have like a crowdfunding or like a amount like, hey, give us 5 million, we can try to solve 10% or 20% of things. So what is it? What is that?
Well, okay. We are planning to start crowdfunding soon,
Hey.
but at the moment, our focus is on our Think City Challenge, where if we can get to be in the top 3, we can start to kick off our project. And yeah, we would definitely need your votes for that and your collaboration. So if you guys can have that thing to pop up anytime soon.
Yeah, hopefully by the
Please
time
vote for us.
when does it end?
Oh,
Soon.
Yeah.
I think they have to vote
20th.
and before the 25th.
Yeah, before 20th September.
Okay, so let's hope that this video comes up before that. If not, get clicking. Just check it out. Maybe they want it. See how you can partner with them. We're wishing them good
Awesome.
luck, and definitely I voted yesterday, I think, and I got it. So yeah,
Yeah,
voted.
so on the link you can click vote, and you can also register as a supporting partner if you want to collaborate with us, or even if you're interested just to volunteer in one of our excursions, you can just click on support project on the same link.
Wonderful. I think for me, even like before hearing even about this, I was already definitely looking to see how we can partner for sure. We have an event space. Like I said, I would love to see how we can maybe get your team to even do an audit for our space. More than happy to. If you have even like other things that when we launch this podcast that you see like, hey, actually you could do this instead. More than happy to. We work with a lot of creatives and they run a lot of events just like us. I think we kind of like, you've been through a few of the programs that we run. So definitely, like talking to like Rio, Rex KL and the other guys, like we have some friends there. Definitely, be quite cool to look into those areas. Some areas like you want to go government and ask them to check out their stuff might take a bit more longer. They might be scared because they know they might not be doing well. Some corporates also don't want to because they will be looking bad again on themselves. So
Well, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I think it's more like an opportunity for them to improve. And it could be part of them building the name to be more accessible.
yeah, I think that's the first step. I think when saying it and marketing it, that's why for us also we are okay to say where our shortcomings are. Definitely it doesn't, change can't happen overnight, but at least you're doing the work that needs to be done. At least you're not saying like, yeah, put it back there, wait until somebody figures it out. Like, let's look into these kind of issues and definitely want to like see how to actually be more inclusive in that way. All right. Nice. That is the question and answer session. We had good conversations. Right now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to move into our game challenge. So now we're in a Did You Know section where we're going to read you some interesting insights from around the world that maybe you could shed some light. It might be something that you may not have heard of and we could just speak around it. I'm going to just move my laptop quietly so you can read it. It's all in big letters. We'll start off with Armani. And Nurul, if you can't, don't worry, I'll make it even bigger. And for Miza, I'll make it even more bigger.
Please.
All right? Cool, don't worry, I'll bring it in front to you. All good. Okay, so Armani, you start off by the first Did You Know question.
Do I read it out?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Did you know a passing space for wheelchair users should be at least 1,200 mm wide, applicable to walkways and transfer areas in OKU parking?
Is this something you knew?
No, actually. Do we use millimeters or do we use
No,
We don't
usually
have
use
a universal
Feet.
design
Okay,
for
how many
Malaysia.
feet?
actually?
We don't have a standardized um, universal design for Malaysia in terms of accessibility. So even if this was a fact, it is not practiced here.
Now I'm going to ask you, did you know that when new buildings are built, the only thing that's compulsory to pass the test is the bomber requirements?
Oh, yes.
And not really okay. Okay is like bare minimum. It's just like a
Correct.
nice to have.
Yeah, I know the bomber one, but
They're very strict.
that's it. After you get the bomber licensing, you're pretty much good to set up. Yeah, but not this. So this is something, or maybe what you just mentioned actually is more relevant to, especially new buildings. Like, why not, right? We can make people fly to space and do all these fun jazzy stuff. So why can't that be a requirement, right?
Yeah, it's like an additional add-on for buildings.
I think that's
like-
something to definitely look into. I know for like legislation for law to become practice, it takes years, 5-10 years even. Maybe I don't know whether y'all are looking into any areas in the law side that y'all are advocating for that you could maybe share. If you have anything that you're like looking into, maybe topic haven't gone into or some things, yeah, we are still in this battle.
In Malaysia right now, one of the things that the PWD community is fighting for is to change our Acta OKU 2008. And it's still going. When I first started advocacy, like almost 10 years ago, that was one of the things that they were fighting for. And even till today, they are still fighting for it. And the last I heard was I was in Putrajaya for a town hall meeting, and I will not name names, but um, they basically told us that they can't make up their minds on what to implement and what not to implement. And their excuse was that we gave so much good feedback that they can't make up their mind.
They don't know where to start.
This is, yeah. Okay. I mean, it's good that the fight is still on and, you have some
It's
areas to
going.
focus, Of course, if any way, anything can be done, it does require a lot of parties and people and stuff. But I'm glad to hear, like, there is some work being done, of course, faster. And it's great to see that y'all have done too much good already, that they are now stuck. But yeah, I guess still gotta keep poking and bursting and opening doors more than ever. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Nice. Diving from did you know to did I know even? Good. So we're gonna go to the next question. Nurul,
Yes.
probably.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so did you know tactile warnings on the ground provide different distinctive surface patterns, detectable by a long cane or underfoot? So, which are used to alert the vision impaired of approaching streets and hazardous surface or grade changes? Yes, I know.
Oh.
Yes.
So is there like a distinctive pattern that you could point out maybe or share with us?
Yes. So if you go towards the crossing of the roads, you will feel more like circles, more.
Right,
It
the
looks like
yellow
those.
bumps,
Yep,
that
Yeah,
one.
that's
Okay.
yeah.
exactly it.
The bumps. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you walk across the path, it's more like long oblongs
Yeah.
strips. Yeah.
Okay.
So that you can kind of just drag the cane across it and follow.
Or steps on it.
Yeah. Or your
So the
feet.
the one with the multiple like
Yeah,
bubbles,
tiny circles.
tiny circles,
Yeah.
that's like big
Like stop.
warning stop.
Yeah.
End of the pavement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also did you know
Yeah, please.
when you hear at the traffic light you can hear the beeps.
Yes.
So that is like that is a very important thing so that they can hear when to cross, when not
But
to
it's
cross.
only in one location that I know of in KL. I'm sorry.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
all.
it's not
Yeah, so
practiced
that's the thing.
again.
It's usually not.
One, it's just a beep sound. Like, can't they make
Yeah.
that everywhere?
It
Like,
should be.
It should be, but
Yeah.
again, we don't have laws that make it compulsory for you to
Yeah.
do so.
sad because we
Yeah.
just need laws, then only things work, you know. Like, I mean, some things can be your own initiative, your own, you know,
Exactly.
town hall, townships, or property developers, and you know, guys out there, girls out there, people out there, you know, like you see it, you need to change, you know, speak to the right people, you know, like everybody talks about, like, you know, writing in, supporting causes, all these things. Don't just say it, but do it. Okay.
Can I add another? Did you know? Did you know that Billie Eilish used that sound from the traffic light beeping
Ah,
in her song "Bad Guy"?
wow. Now
She
you
actually
know.
talked about it. Yeah.
Ah,
Interesting.
awesome. Thank you, Billy. This one's for you. The third
You're gonna have to
question.
make it bigger.
No, I'm just gonna hold it here. Don't
I
worry.
can hold it.
You can bring it.
Okay, what's
Okay,
the
okay.
Yes,
There you
third
go.
one.
Oh God.
All right, there you go.
Okay, I'm reading it. Did you know on public transports, announcements should be provided in both audio and visual formats? Electric signboards at the doors and audio announcement are measured. Wait, sorry, I can't read.
That's
One more
good.
time.
Go ahead.
Did you know on public transports, announcements should be provided in audio and visual formats? Electric signboards at the door and audio announcements are measures that accommodate those with hard of hearing and visual impairment. Yes, I did know.
Okay, so on the doors itself, yeah, besides just having
Yeah.
ting and that's just
Uh-huh.
one sound, different sounds can indicate different things, right? Have you seen that here? Yet?
In certain areas, yeah, we do have them. But again, it is not practiced everywhere.
Right.
And I think the most you would see in public transport is the sign for priority lifts or
Right.
priority seats.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just a sign. So
Right. So I think, you know, even advocating for even the public transport sector, you know, the people who are driving or even the bus conductor and all these, you know, certain sort of messaging is important, but also the practice and awareness is super crucial. But yeah, the work that's in there, it has there's I bet there's so many countries out there that's doing different things, and it's all about learning from those who does it well and trying to, well, you know, localize it in a way, or like see how it fits the Malaysian context or the Asian context and all that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Next fun fact, Armani.
Did you know certain doors that are more accessible than others? Door handles that are lever handles are more accessible to that of a twisting doorknob. Yep.
Right.
You know how I know this?
How?
When I'm trying to help her go to the toilet, she can't open the door.
Mm.
That's basic necessity fail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's like architecture and design failure, even, like
Epic fail when they make the door so heavy and the hallway is like so narrow. Imagine a wheelchair user trying to open the door, like, tak payah lah.
and even like how you open it or how does it
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
all that is important.
Yep.
Yep. All those are in our rating.
Okay. I'm looking forward to see what rating we get in our space. For sure. All right, next question, Nurul.
Yes.
Long one.
Okay. So did you know support services like calm areas, sensory walls, and dimmer lights are initiatives that provide an inclusive and comfortable experience for those with autism and can be found in Malaysia's first autism-friendly shopping mall, Sunway Putra Mall. Yes, I know that.
Nice. At least we have one mall in the millions of malls that we are crowded or overcrowded with that is doing this. Other malls, listen up. Do it. Get yourselves audited. That'll be a good way for you to just recognize yourself and see what are things you can do to improve. Next budget meeting that you need to, advocate for something, this is something you can look into. All right, that's a wrap from Did You Know? We're going to go into the next fun fact area. Okay, next we're going to move into our challenge where we're going to ask our guest some interesting questions. All right, no right, wrong answers. All right, it's called this or that. This or that. Right? So if it's this, you say this, which is the first word. If it's that, it's the letter. All right. So this means
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you two things.
Okay.
Is it this or is it that?
All right.
Right? Easy. We wish we can have maybe next time some play cards and then we can say this or we can scream it out. So since we're doing podcast, we'll say this or that. Okay, in unison. All right. I also will join in. No, I don't get a chance.
Wait, at the same time.
At the same time.
Oh, no.
So when I say 3, 2, 1,
Okay.
ants or cockroaches, and then you go ants. You go ants at least.
Ants,
You cannot choose neither. There's no maybe. There's no I don't know. It's this or that.
No.
Not no. This or that in unison. All right. Okay. So first question: eating vegetables or growing plants? This or that? One, two, three.
Eating
Plants.
This or that? You have to say this or that. Okay, so this means
Wait, eating
Ah.
vegetables?
eating
or what?
vegetables or growing plants.
Doesn't
be
relate
both.
in any
No, you gotta
way.
choose one.
Why?
You have to
though?
choose one.
I don't
Okay,
care.
3, 2,
Okay,
1, go.
That.
this.
That, this. So you want to say both. So you grow.
What is this?
Do you grow plants?
Yeah, I have plants. I have a plant.
You have a plant, okay. And you like vegetables.
Well, yeah, I have to like vegetables.
Have to like. Nobody's holding a gun in your head telling you must eat your carrot or something.
It's vegetables, like, yeah.
Okay, then yours was
Eating vegetables.
because you don't grow plants.
Because my plants die.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of plants. Like
I do.
we literally cut like a banana leaf at her house the other day, just a banana leaf rice.
So you have plants.
I do.
Maybe she kills them and she buys them again.
No, I don't kill them purposely.
Totally die. Sorry, they take their leave. So yeah, at least you do try. Okay, and yours was neither. You wanted to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is.
Well, you
This.
Realistically, I'm not gonna.
This a vegetable. Why? Like poor vegetable is good. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do this a lot with my team because sometimes they just have rice and chicken. And then I'm like,
Are you vegan?
no. I just like to tell people to what to eat at times. But no, I mean like sometimes I see like I'm like worried for them. I'm like rice and chicken, where's the vegetables? That's why I don't even chicken rice I don't consider it like a full meal because they give you 3 slices of cucumber and then
That's good enough.
Tauge?
tauge okay. Tauge okay.
Did you know that was a myth? Did you know?
Did you know? Yeah?
There's a minister, a local minister, who doesn't believe tauge is a vegetable.
Oh.
But it is
Wow.
though.
Do you think
Interesting.
we're jumping to a few other questions, but is a tomato a vegetable or a fruit?
It's a fruit.
So yeah, because they say anything with seeds is a fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know your fruits. Okay, I give you that. Vegetables, yeah,
Are
they
we
love
having a
you.
science class?
They love you. Okay. All right. Next question. Okay, this or that. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Learning a new skill or making more money.
This.
Learning a new skill or making money. Skill. This. She wants money.
No,
Don't
I
be
want both.
guilty.
No, like I
Okay.
want skills that can make me money. Yeah.
Why skill first?
You
Because
skill
like,
first,
you know,
yeah.
Yeah, okay. In that case, skills.
But she wants money, I think. She just.
everybody
skills
wants
that
money.
can make
Like, duh.
Okay, skill. Okay, next question. Advocate or politician?
Oh, this.
Advocate.
Huh? This.
This.
This. Wow.
Nobody wants to be a
Hey,
politician.
but
here.
sometimes you need to get people into seats and to power.
Nuh-uh.
Nah,
No,
yeah, but it's okay. You know your calling. This is
There will be
you already do.
external
it's okay. Let
influence.
the politicians politic. We will just.
Okay, no right or wrong answer. It's okay. It's how creative you answer. Creatively you answer. Okay. Next question. This or that. Volunteer or donation?
Volunteer.
Volunteer. This.
Are we doing this?
Okay,
Or are
this.
we
This.
free?
This.
Because I'm confused.
This is why I think we were supposed to
Like,
make
did you
play
have
cards.
to ask? But
This volunteer.
Yeah. We will have a.
So would you rather like okay if you say like hey we have an event please donate or would you rather say hey we have an event please come volunteer? Which would that?
Volunteer.
Volunteer?
Yeah.
Oh, volunteer. So it's still very important. Yeah, go volunteer. Right?
More impactful.
More impactful. Exactly. Just something to move into or just to let you all know something I spoke to someone about. In the US, a lot of people are. It's kind of a culture thing that people donate a lot. It's so that they just want to support their community or the efforts. So most of their NGOs and businesses or like in the NGO scene are run by the community itself
Yep.
because they feel empowered. Here, people are scared to donate because they don't know where the money going. Maybe
That's
It's kind of true.
a lot of scams
Yeah.
nowadays.
a lot of scams,
A lot of misuse. Of funds.
misuse.
So do your
yeah,
research. Find out who's taking the money and doing what with it. You know?
correct. Very nice. Okay,
Come down and volunteer and see for yourself.
volunteer again. All right. So next question: this or that, fashion or music?
Music.
That.
That.
Good girl.
That. So all of you are more
Trying.
music
I'm trying.
people than fashion. Media marketing person always knows what to answer correctly. Thank you. Okay, next question: billionaire or millionaire?
Which one's bigger?
That
Yeah, that one.
one, okay. This.
Oh, yeah, this one.
This. So, it's okay to want billion. Million is enough, but okay, billion, yeah.
No,
Going, might as well go, right? Yeah.
Million cepat habis. You make the app also 1 million what? Habis.
Okay.
True.
Last question actually for this section is being an expert in a particular field or being intelligent.
This.
Particular field, that means you're an expert or you want to just be, I'm smart, I know. Yes, I can answer that. So this for Miza wants to be an expert in a specific field.
I feel like both are negative for me. I don't know why.
Both are negative.
No, I think both are
Both
good.
are good. It's just a matter
Yeah.
whether you want to be an expert or you want to know everything.
I think I want to know everything.
Yeah, I would agree with Armani's.
What did they say? Jack of all trades, master of none, still better than master of one.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
I was just thinking about my capabilities.
Oh,
And I was just like, maybe not.
But still, intelligence is just like I know how to build a
But
solar
that's like
panel.
an infinite number of things that you have to
True.
know.
True.
So
But you can see there's a slight difference of like, because if you're expert in your own field, sometimes you're just all about that field
Yeah.
only, sometimes, and then you just like, maybe not caught up in it, but also sometimes you can just be like, this is, but it's also good because like doctors are masters in their one trade,
Yeah.
which is so,
Good
everything has
benefits of both.
benefits, yeah. Because sometimes you need to step out, sometimes you need to do this. No right, wrong answers. I'm going to look at the crew over here. What's the score? Out of 10. I'm getting 10. 10. And 10s. All right, that's all the time we have for today's episode. I had such a blast with our amazing guests. Do you have any last words for us?
Yes, please don't forget to follow our Instagram accounts, natseni.com and inclusity.my. And don't forget to vote for us at the link below in the captions.
Okay, as a thank you to our guests for joining us today, we have a little souvenir. It's one of our very own Mereka and BGBG bags. And we'd like to pass it on to you. Thank you, Armani.
I pass it down?
Thank you, Nurul.
Thank you.
I'll be running around. And thank you, Miza.
You.
Woohoo.
I also have something for you and your team.
Oh, wow.
This is a keychain
Haha.
with our QR code in the back. So
Nice.
whenever you visit a venue and you want to rate it, you can scan and it opens up the link with our checklist.
Yeah.
So that's for here.
Woohoo! So cool. We get gifts.
Yay.
All right. I would like to thank everybody here today for joining us. And I need to go to my script that says bye-bye to y'all, which is yes. Thanks everyone for tuning in the Late Night Connections with our guests Armani, Nurul, and Miza from NakSeni and Inclucity. I'm Jay Bala. Dream big, build bigger, and good night. Till we reconnect again. Bye.
Good night.